Good afternoon everyone, my name is Lewis. Welcome back to the channel. I hope I find you all in good health. You know the drill. I'm going to talk about 3 albums that I've been listening to recently. I'm going to talk about each album in turn and why I would recommend them to you. So first out of the gate today is a 1974 release, and it's by Maulawi Nuruddin, and the album is called Maulawi. There we go. That's a nice cover. Yeah, I do like that. Again, sorry about the glare, can't really get rid of it. This is an underrated urban odyssey. I really do enjoy this album. It's a mixture of playful wit and philosophical contemplation, in my humble opinion. Nuruddin has achieved a lovely balance between harmonic vocal arrangements and thoroughly addictive rhythm section. You've got to hear this album. As I said, it's just totally underrated. Notables on this particular album are Joyce Major and Diane Cunningham, who provide the vocals on this one. They do a really lovely job. They add a flavour, a sincere flavour to it, which you don't find on all vocal jazz albums, but they do a really nice job here. Along with Edwin Williams on trombone and Silas King on percussion. Yeah, it's easy to overlook this album, but I would say to you, please have a listen to it on one of the streaming sites. You're in for an absolute treat. You can still get this album, and it's going to be relatively inexpensive if you can find it. I think it's even easier to find on the CD, so please check it out. The actual tracks that I would recommend to you would be Street Rap, Root in 7/4 Plus, and Naima. So yeah, if you see it, have a listen, or buy it immediately. I think for those who are interested in jazz, it's one of those kind of uplifting spiritual jazz albums, which helps you to think, clear your mind, and you're in for an entertaining ride as well. So that's the first album today. The second album is a 1971 release by an artist called Gary Bartz, with his band, the NTU Troupe, and the album is called Harlem Bush Music Aurora. There we go. Again, sorry about the glare, it's hard to get rid of that. But yeah, another album that I really enjoy and I do play quite often. This album elicits strong feelings in me when I listen to it. It's a lovely spiritual jazz outing. It's sublime, deep, humble, earthly music born of struggle and reflection. Yeah, that sounds really earnest, but that's not really what the album is. Yeah, that's just merely a description. But you're in again for an enjoyable ride with this particular one. The musicians are really good on this particular one. It's a stripped out affair, and it's minimalistic while still maintaining its integrity, which is a neat trick. Bartz makes this seem like an easy achievement by way of not adding orchestrations and having a big band, and it's not easy to do that, to maintain that sound, because it's raw and visceral, and that's what I really do enjoy about this particular album. The notables on this particular album are Orrin Keepnews, who is the producer, and I've said on I think at least 2 other earlier videos, that if you do encounter Mr. Keepnews as a producer, you're usually guaranteed a really good production, and this is no different. Yeah, just there was a lot of belief behind this album, and it certainly turned out really, really well. Andy Bayes on vocals, and if you haven't heard of him, um, sampling it on this album and then digging further into his back catalogue, you realise that he is a fantastic singer, like a more modern Paul Robeson type deal, but perhaps that doesn't do him justice. He stands alone. He's got quite a unique singing style, so certainly check out Mr. Bay. And Ron Carter on bass. And yeah, as you know, you've heard me mention Ron Carter so many times. He is the go-to man for bass, and he never lets you down. And again, on this one, he does a superb job. The tracks that I would recommend from this album would be Blue, A Folk's Tale, that's one track, and Celestial Blues, which is probably a track that you would already be familiar with. And if you haven't heard that, certainly give it a listen, and not just one listen, give it many listens too. It's heartfelt, it's really, really, really good, and it's accessible at the same time. So yeah, please give this album a listen. It's on many of the streaming sites. To get it on vinyl, relatively easy, relatively inexpensive, certainly on CD, but I'd say please give it a whirl. You're doing yourself a favour by listening to this, and it's going to open up the world of Gary Bartz to you, and he's got quite a few albums in his back catalogue, and the vast majority of which are really good albums, so check him out. The last album today is a 1974 release by a gentleman called Leo Morris, otherwise known professionally as Idris Muhammad, a superb drummer from that era. He stands out with pretty much, he's up to standard with pretty much every other drummer of that era, whether it's Norman Connors, Bernard Purdie, Max Roach. Yeah, he can hold his own with any of those. This is an all-star affair, this particular album, featuring, for me at least, a couple of lovely deep compositions on this particular album. I've got a lot of affection for this one. It's a relatively brief album in terms of album length, at 34 minutes, something like that. So it's not an overtaxing album, but don't think that by its shortened length that it isn't sophisticated or an intelligent piece, because it certainly is. It's a body of work which, with repeated listenings, provides you with a greater appreciation of the talent on display. Now, just to give you an idea, this is a Rudy Van Gelder recording. So again, I've mentioned his name a number of times across several videos. He's the go-to man for recording, and it's a CTI production, Creed Taylor. So again, double whammy. You know you're getting a piece of quality here. The notables on this album are Grover Washington on sax, Bob James on keyboards, Joe Beck on guitar, Randy Brecker on trumpet, who does a magnificent job on this particular album, and Gary King on bass. Yeah, it's an all-star ensemble, this particular one. The tracks that I would recommend from this would be Loran's Dance and Peace of Mind. You should still be able to get this on vinyl relatively easy, definitely on CD, but like I say with every album I highlight to you, or I may introduce to you for the first time, have a listen to it on one of the streaming sites, see what you think, and yeah, hopefully it's going to fit in with your jazz catalogue. So that's the last album for today. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's been an absolute pleasure. If you do have any comments about my shirt, because I know that you can't take your eyes off it, whether it's positive or negative, please leave a comment down below if you so choose. Please don't forget to like, subscribe and share. And as I said before, it's been an absolute pleasure hanging out with you guys today. And look after yourselves, and I will see you soon for the next video. Take care of yourselves. Bye bye.